Nicola Sturgeon and Mark Drakeford at the end of their OP received hellish backlash over COVID restrictions. Nicola Sturgeon and Mark Drakeford are facing a backlash from the hospitality industry in Scotland and Wales after the two Celtic First Ministers pressed the COVID panic button over fears about the Omicron variant. Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, 51, and her Welsh counterpart Mark Drakeford, 67, have unveiled plans to introduce more COVID curbing restrictions after Christmas. Brits north of the border will face an effective ban on attending football matches, including a key Christmas clash in the Scottish Premier League between table-toppers Rangers and stragglers St Mirren. Scots will also be unable to participate in large Hogmanay celebrations, with pubs reduced to table service and nightclubs closing their doors. Similar measures have been introduced in Wales, with the lucrative festive fixture between rugby sides Cardiff and the Scarlets being played behind closed doors. But the decision has been slammed by hospitality bosses after a new study revealed people contracting the Omicron COVID-19 strain could be up to 70% less likely to need hospital care compared to those who have caught previous variants. Owner of the Garage and Cat House nightclubs Donald MacLeod MBE, 60, even called the SNP leader the Grinch and suggested the approach taken by Boris Johnson, 57, was preferable. He told that, the damage was done 3 weeks ago when Public Health Scotland started scaring everybody and saying Omicron was going to wipe out the human race. I must say I prefer the way that Boris and Westminster have dealt with it, looking at the evidence before pressing any panic buttons. This will decimate the industry. And what's really galling is that today Nicola Sturgeon said, right, that's me off work, we're going to be off for the holidays. Meanwhile, I've got 150 staff who are going to be worried sick about their jobs, as well as suppliers and freelancers who are in bits. That's a disgrace. The chief executive of the Scottish Chambers of Commerce Dr Liz Cameron added, businesses across Scotland, who have been doing everything they can to keep their employees and customers safe, will be bitterly disappointed by these further restrictions. Some businesses and sectors will view this update as the equivalent of receiving a lump of coal in their Christmas stocking, further compounding the downturn in trade they have experienced in the crucial run-up to the festive period. The Executive Director of UK Hospitality Cymru David Chapman also claimed Mr Drakeford's new rules will virtually close Wales' events industry and take all other hospitality businesses much further into sub-viable trading. But data released by the UK government shows another record-breaking day for COVID infections, with 119,789 people testing positive with the virus on December 23. Despite a surge in coronavirus cases, the UK government website suggests weekly deaths from the virus have fallen by 2.4% when compared to the previous 7 days. The Prime Minister encouraged people across the UK to get their booster jabs in his Christmas message this year, describing it as a wonderful gift to their families. Boris Johnson will also say that the pandemic is far from over, as Omicron is surging, and will pay tribute to the work of NHS staff. In his Christmas message released on Friday, Mr Johnson will say, though the time for buying presents is theoretically running out, there is still a wonderful thing you can give your family and the whole country, and that is to get that jab, whether it is your first or second, or your booster. So that next year's festivities are even better than this year's. He will also describe a COVID vaccine as an invisible and invaluable present. The Prime Minister will add, we have been getting that vaccination that protects us and stops us infecting others. And I hope I can be forgiven for taking pride in the immense spirit of neighborliness that the people of this country have shown. Getting jabbed not just for themselves, for ourselves, but for friends and family and everyone we meet. And that, after all, is the teaching of Jesus Christ, whose birth is at the heart of this enormous festival, that we should love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And so let's think of all those who are being good neighbors and thinking of others. All those in the NHS working over Christmas, our care workers, everyone involved in the incredible vaccination campaign. Following calls from the Prime Minister to get boosted now, Brits have been getting inoculated in their droves. An additional 932,501 jabs were administered on December 22, with 840,038 given as third doses or booster vaccines. Just over 55% of Brits aged 12 and over have now received their third jab. Almost 90% have had their first dose and 82% have been double vaccinated.